Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on, everybody? Not the most active day today, but we did get a couple decent entries out of it on the long side. Let's go ahead and get started. We got a couple supply zones up on top, as you can see. Before the open, we had this 3-hour zone from a couple days ago. That was it the first time it was tested? I think. Yeah. So it's tested a couple times overnight. So first sign that it may not be reliable. Above that, we have a 45-minute zone from last week. That's a pretty clear zone. A 30 above that. But this 45 is at 45.73. This 3-hour is at 45.46. On the demand side, we created a 45-minute demand zone here. Yeah, at around 3 o'clock overnight before the open. Before Friday's close, we had some whiplash action that created a 30-minute demand zone right at 45.28 here. Touched it once, actually early overnight, bounced off of it. Technically, this is a higher low off of it. You know, if you're trading the overnight session, cool, you could have got a couple, one 20-point move out of it. And then this 30/45-minute demand zone that has held a couple times the past couple weeks. Created here, bounced once, bounced twice. Got to the bottom of the zone on Friday, but had a solid bounce off of that. Plus, you got 4,500 psychological area there, so acting as pretty good support as of now. Then, once again, this orange level, 45.85, is previous resistance right here. A couple touches here, a couple touches here, and then we bounced off it and used it as support last week. Now, as you can see, we're going up after today's move and may touch it overnight, or sometime tomorrow we'll see if it can break through it, or if it'll act as resistance. We make our way back down again. All right. As always, overnight highs usually act as pretty good resistance and support. Right here, 45.51. Overnight lows, 45.29. Sorry, about 45.30. And then after, let's go ahead and kick it off. So after the open, fell down a little bit. Buyers definitely were not present for the first 5 minutes, which you can see clear here off this low 1 minute buying, and then sellers just kind of disappeared. I'm sorry, sellers disappeared shortly after that, and it was just kind of an uptrend from there. We bounced off this 45-minute demand zone. I didn't take it, early in the morning, early right after the bell. Things are still a little volatile, just like how they are 15 minutes before the bell. 15 minutes before the bell closes is volatile, and this 15 minutes right after the bell is also volatile. So I usually don't take too many trades off of it unless it's a perfect setup. I mean, this one was pretty good, but I wanted to see more action, see how I would have played out for the rest of the day before I took my first trade. But technically, you have a pretty good touch here. On the 5 minute, you could call this a higher low probably, which is right here at 45.36. Risk off the previous low inside this demand zone would have been a great trade because we basically just ripped up from there through this supply zone that we had already tested a couple times, right? No sign of weakness. Why would you short that? Don't even worry about it. Overnight highs and through the supply zone. So the zone is now gone. After that rip, we did create a 1-hour demand zone right here. Draw it out, which provided for my first and only play of the day. There we go, 1 hour clear zone. I would have liked a higher rip off of that rip candle, but it was good enough for me to note it. And we obviously had some pretty good continuation off of that, so confirmation that it was a pretty good demand zone. Okay. So after this rip, we came back, touched it, which is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the touch. I wasn't going to buy the first touch, right? Because I want to see confirmation that it is a demand zone. Buyers are present there. But great drop-based rally out of that, confirming that demand is there. And then at that point, I want to see a higher low. Kind of a balanced area here where it was bouncing earlier. It dropped down, bounced right off of overnight highs, which is where I got my position. I actually got my position right here, about 45.43, 45.54. And then at that point, I'm risking this low right here. So I probably would have risked about 45.42, about a 10-point risk there. shooting for this 45-minute supply zone at 45.73. Volume just kind of died off though a little bit though. I mean, we did have some buying volume here after that though. Just kind of died off a little bit. You can tell market participants just kind of were accepting these prices. We didn't want to move up, I guess, much from there. Every time we made a new high, selling came in, and we couldn't do much with it. You know, made a new high here, couldn't do much. New highs, you know, we're just relaxing a little bit, but we're not. And I like to take my moves or take my profits quick off of a quick move. I wanted a, you know, quick 20-point move in, you know, at least 30 minutes to an hour. We didn't get that. I saw we were grinding up, weren't going to do much with it. I actually took my profits after about 10-15 points right here. Somehow I timed it pretty well here, but right about 45.66, 45.67. And then I was happy with that. But off of this, you know, somewhat rip, we created another demand zone. Got a decent 30 here. Look at that. Good rally, base rally, demand zone here. Extend that, and could have provided us for another long entry. Came back after not being able to break this high right here, tumbled down. Go back to the 5-minute chart. Good touch here, good touch, made a lower low, but and then shortly after made a higher low, which could have provided for a good entry. I mean, you know, it's just a slow grind up. So if you didn't take profits off of this first, you know, I wouldn't call it quick, but 10-point move in 30-45 minutes, you know, you would have just kind of been holding it for the rest of the day, hoping we can get to that supply zone, which we did, but it was probably torture if you did hold through all of that. But yeah, so you can see the higher low better on the 5-minute chart here. Got some higher lows, higher lows. Could have provided a pretty good entry. Selling not really present. You know, we have some low 5-minute candles there. And just grinded it from there. Made a higher high right here. Couldn't hold. And that's a clear sign of weakness, but buyers just bought it right back up. So it tells you buyers are strong. They don't care how weak it's going to look. They're just going to go ahead and slowly grind this baby up until we get to the supply zone. Even at the supply zone, you know, I wasn't really thinking about, you know, I was ready to short, but I wasn't really planning on shorting quick. I wanted to see some clear weakness. I would have liked to like hit it, drop down 10 points, 45.60, and then maybe catch a lower high if the volume candles are weak on the 5-minute chart. We didn't get that. It dropped to 45.68, ripped right back up, made new highs, just kind of consolidated here and ended at 45.80. So overall, just a slow grind up. We did get to the supply zone. We're just balancing, consolidating in it right now. So we'll see what the overnight session does. But we created some pretty good demand zones, and market participants are just accepting these higher prices. You know, we'll see what happens overnight, and we'll see if we can get a couple more, 1 or 2 more plays tomorrow when the time comes. All right, see y'all then.